Ever feel like your company's structure is just holding it back? Well, today we're diving into a totally different way of working. It's one that promises to make organizations faster, way more innovative, and super adaptable. But the big question is this agile, team-based model actually right for you? Let's get into it and find out. For the longest time, we all thought of companies as these giant, rigid skyscrapers. You had a clear chain of command, and every single decision flowed from the very top. But that's the old way. The new way? It's like demolishing that skyscraper and replacing it with a dynamic, interconnected network of teams. Each one is empowered to move fast and pivot on a dime. So what is an agile structure, really? Well, think of it as a company built around these small, self-directed teams. They're almost like little startups inside the larger organization. Each team has this cross-functional mix of skills, all the people they need to take a project from an idea all the way to the finish line. Okay, so the appeal here is pretty obvious, right? It's all about making companies faster and more innovative. So let's kick things off by looking at the good stuff, the core benefits that really drive this whole movement: speed and empowerment. And this is where things get really interesting. We're talking about a radical power shift. Instead of a single leader at the top calling all the shots, that authority gets pushed down, distributed to the teams on the ground, the people who were actually closest to the customer and the problem itself. That brings up a huge question, though. If there's no traditional boss, who's really in charge? Well, in an agile system, leadership is situational. So, for example, if a critical marketing decision comes up, the marketing expert on that team takes the lead in that moment. It doesn't matter what their official title is or if they're junior or senior. Expertise rules the day. And this right here shows you the massive impact on speed. A classic hierarchy is like a single-lane road with a toll booth every mile. It just creates traffic jams of red tape. Agile, on the other hand, is like a multi-lane highway with no speed limit. Teams can make decisions in real time, which completely gets rid of those frustrating slow approval chains. So the key takeaway here is that the strengths of the agile model are all connected. I mean, it makes sense, right? When you have empowered, cross-functional teams, they're naturally going to be more innovative, more engaged, and more collaborative. It's really a recipe for a leaner, more effective organization with way higher morale. But it can't all be sunshine and roses, right? Of course not. The agile model isn't some magic bullet. While the strengths are pretty amazing, it definitely comes with its own set of challenges, especially around things like ambiguity and conflict. So let's flip the coin and look at the other side. You see, the very same flexibility that makes agile so powerful can also be its greatest weakness. Have you ever been in a meeting where everyone agrees something needs to get done, but nobody's quite sure who's supposed to do it? Yeah, that's the kind of ambiguity that can lead to confusion, people doing the same work twice, or things just falling through the cracks entirely. This ambiguity can also make it really tough to see a clear path forward in your own career. In a traditional company, you know what the next rung on the ladder is. But in a flat, agile organization, that ladder might not even exist. So how are you supposed to get ahead when there are fewer rungs to climb? And look, this isn't just some theory. It's a very real reason why talented people end up leaving agile organizations. This hits talent retention hard. If you're ambitious and you just can't see a clear path for advancement, you're probably going to start looking somewhere else. And the dangers don't stop there. Just think of it like the 4 C's of agile conflict. First, consensus. Trying to get a whole group to agree on something can be painfully slow. Then there's coordination. Getting different teams to work together can be a huge challenge. Competition. Friendly rivalries can turn pretty ugly. And finally, comfort, because frankly, not everyone is comfortable with that much autonomy. Okay, so how do you get all the incredible benefits of agile without falling into all these traps? It's not easy, for sure, but it is possible. So let's look at some practical, essential strategies for making an agile structure not just work, but actually thrive. Success with agile requires constant effort. It's not a set it and forget it kind of thing. First, you have to regularly review and realign your teams to make sure they're still pointing at the right goals. Second, you have to provide clear guidelines, not rigid rules, but frameworks, to help teams make good decisions. Third, you've got to invest in training to give people the skills they need to thrive in this kind of autonomous world. And finally, you have to build strong communication channels to stop new silos from just popping up between the teams. Now, what's really fascinating here is the financial impact. By flattening that hierarchy, you can save a ton of money on management overhead. But, and this is crucial, you can't just pocket that cash. You have to reinvest it back into your teams, giving them the training, the tools, and the support they need to be successful. Think of it like a sports team. Sure, you might save money by firing the general manager, but you still need to invest in your players if you want to win. One of the biggest cultural shifts in Agile is this idea of accountability. In a traditional company, the manager gets the credit or the blame. But in an Agile team, everyone is in the same boat. You succeed together and you fail together. It's kind of like a rowing team. If one person stops rowing, the whole boat slows down. But this whole idea of collective responsibility brings up a really tough question. If everyone is responsible, does that just mean that no one is responsible when things go wrong? It's a fair point, and it's something every single Agile organization has to wrestle with. So how do the best Agile organizations solve this? Well, they get around this problem by clarifying roles within the team. So while the team as a whole is accountable for the outcome, each person has a clear responsibility for their piece of the puzzle. And when things do go wrong, the focus is never on pointing fingers. It's on using retrospectives to improve the process for next time. All right, we've looked at the good, the bad, and the strategies to make it all sustainable. So now it's time for the most important question of all. Is this structure actually the right fit for your organization? Let's figure it out. This table breaks it down beautifully. You can see that Agile is a fantastic fit for companies that are like speedboats. They're nimble, they're quick to change course, and they operate in these really dynamic markets. But if your company is more like a giant cargo ship, focused on efficiency and stability in a really predictable market, then a traditional structure might still be the better choice. What about growth? How does this thing scale? Well, in a hierarchy, scaling up is like trying to add another floor to a skyscraper. It's a huge, complicated project. With Agile, scalability is modular. It's like adding another Lego brick. You can just snap on a new team whenever you need one. The trick, of course, is making sure all those bricks still fit together as you get bigger. So, what's the bottom line? Adopting an Agile structure is a strategic choice. You are consciously making a trade-off. You're trading some degree of that top-down control and standardized efficiency for more speed and more innovation. And there's no single right answer for every company. And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. In today's world of constant disruption and change, is a rigid, top-down structure really a sign of strength? Or is it actually a sign of fragility? Something to think about. Thanks so much for tuning in.